Hi, I'm Brandy Hankey, the Group Exercise Director for the Oshkosh Community YMCA. Today I'm going to be taking you through a yoga practice. If you don't have a mat, don't worry about it, but you may want a strap. If you don't have a strap at home, you can use a scarf or a belt or even a towel. We're going to start our practice today down on our mat or the floor in child's pose. So coming down to the mat, big toes touching, knees open wide to the outside edges of the mat. We're going to slowly walk ourselves down. Arms stretching out in front of us, palms press firmly into the mat, ears come between the arms. Bring your attention to your breath. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Drawing that breath in so deep that you feel the expansion all the way into your lower back. Gently walking your hands over to one side. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Stretching through that side body. Walking your hands over to the other side. Reaching. Breathing. Good. Walking your hands back to the middle. 3 deep breaths here. Bring your torso up just a little bit. We're going to take one arm and loop it underneath the other, dropping our shoulder down to the mat, resting the side of our head down. Arm extends out in front of you. Breathe. And release. Other side. Other arm loops under. Dropping the shoulder, turning the head. Breathe. Coming back to neutral. Slowly shifting yourself into a tabletop position. Knees come right underneath the hips. Wrists, elbows, and shoulders all in alignment. Fingers spread nice and wide on our mat. Coming into a neutral spine. We're going to roll through some cat and cow here. So on your next inhale, we're going to drop the belly, lift the chin. And as we exhale, hold the belly in, tuck the chin. Following the pace of your own breath here. Inhaling as we come up, exhaling as we come down. Good. Coming back into a neutral spine. We're going to come into a spinal balance here. So we're going to start with just the lower body, extending one leg straight back behind you, trying to keep your hips level. You don't want it to be too high or too low. Keeping those hips level. Energy pushing through the back heel. If and when you're ready, extending the opposite arm out. Sending your gaze down on the floor, the mat in front of you. Breathe. Trying to keep your weight evenly distributed between the knee and the hand that are on the mat. And lower. Other side. Extend the other leg straight back. Energy pressing through the heel. And if and when you're ready, extending that opposite arm out. Breathe. Checking your weight distribution. Making sure you're even. And release. Good. Extending those arms a little bit more in front of you, maybe opening them up a little bit wider. Nice wide fingers. Go ahead and tuck the toes, lift the hips, coming into down dog. Go ahead and take some time to get settled here. finding the best comfortable position for your body today. Ears between the biceps. Take a minute here to pedal out the feet, pressing into the heels, pressing into the toes. Breathe, deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Go ahead and release one foot from the mat, bringing it up to the air. Flex the ankle, bend the knee, stack the hips, coming into a nice hip opener here. Breathe. And release that foot back down to the mat, dropping the knees, coming into child's pose, rolling out the wrists. Good. Setting up for the other side. Arms extend wide. Bring the knees back in. Tuck the toes. Down dog. Releasing that other foot up. Flex the ankle. Bend the knee. Stack the hips. Breathe. Good, and coming back down to our down dog. Slowly walking your feet up to meet your hands. Forward fold. You can have as big of a bend in your knees here as you find comfortable. Just make sure that you don't lock your knees out. And let your head hang nice and loose. If you want to add a little weight to this stretch, you can interlace your arms. Breathe into that lower back. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Releasing those arms down if they're interlaced and slowly bring it up, one vertebra at a time. Good. Coming at the top of your mat, shoulders back, feet rooted into the mat. Energy up through the crown of the head. Deep breath in, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and step one leg straight back, coming into a low lunge position. So you want energy pressing through that back heel. If you would like, you can bring this knee down as well, or you can keep it lifted, your choice. Breathe, sinking into those hips. Good. Rooting your opposite hand down from the foot that's in front. Rooting that hand on the mat. Go ahead and bring that arm up, getting a nice twist here. And release. If your leg is lifted, go ahead and bring it down. If you're already down, go ahead and stay there. Go ahead and bring yourself up. Good. Pressing into that hip, but making sure that front knee doesn't go over those toes. You want to try to keep that right in line with the ankle. Breathe. Good. Slowly shift yourself back. Flexing that foot, reaching forward. Now you may not have to lean very far. Make sure that you're hinging at the hips and not collapsing in the upper body. So pressing through the sternum, hinging at the hips, getting a nice stretch to the back of the leg. Deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. Good. Coming back up through our low lunge. Send the front foot back, down dog. Good. Slowly walking your feet up to the top of the mat to meet your hands. Forward fold. Good. Slowly bring it up, one vertebra at a time. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and send your other foot straight back, coming into that lunge position. Energy presses back through the knee, or through the heel. If you want to drop your knee here, you can, or you can keep it lifted. Breathe into the hips. Rooting down with the opposite hand and the foot that's down. Take your other hand and nice twist here. Rotate. Turning back to neutral. If your leg is already lifted, go ahead and bring it down. And send those arms nice and high, pressing into that hip. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe. Deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. Bring your hands down, shifting the weight back. Sitting back, flexing this foot, and leaning forward. Breathe. Good, coming back through our low lunge. Send that front foot back, down dog. Good. Go ahead and walk in your feet up to the top of the mat to meet your hands. Forward fold. Rolling it all the way up, one vertebra at a time. Deep breath in, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and step one foot back, coming back into that low lunge. And when you're ready, bringing that torso up to a high lunge. Letting that back heel drop as close down to the ground or the mat as you can. Bring your hands through heart center, dropping your opposite elbow to knee. Twist. Go ahead and unwind. Whoop. Breathe. Good. Bring your hands back down to the mat just for a little bit of stability. You may want to bring your back foot up a little bit. We're going to straighten the front leg coming into a pyramid pose. Now, if your hands can't quite reach the mat, it's totally fine. You can be here, anywhere landing on the leg for support, as long as you're not applying pressure backwards on the knee joint. Good. Bending that front knee, bringing those arms back up through a high lunge. Transferring your weight into your front foot, coming into a warrior three. Now, warrior three can be just as beautiful right here as here, so find your place everywhere in between. And slowly controlling yourself back up to the top of your mat. Deep breath in, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and send that other leg back, coming into the low lunge on the other side. Setting yourself up. And when you're ready, releasing those arms, coming into a high lunge. Breathe. Hands come down through heart center. Opposite elbow reaches towards that opposite foot. Twist. Or opposite knee, I should say. And back up into our high lunge. Might want to scoot that back foot up a little bit. Straighten the front leg. And slowly bring yourself down. Little stability here in the arms. Nice stretch through the back of the leg. Good. Bending that knee, bringing the torso back up, coming back into our high lunge. Transferring that weight into our front foot, coming into a warrior 3. Trying to keep those hips level. Ears between the biceps. Controlling yourself back to the top of your mat. Arms come down. Deep breath in, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, sending those legs back, down dog. Go ahead and release one leg up, and we're gonna shift our weight forward, drawing that knee up, coming into a pigeon. So you wanna pull that leg in, send the back leg back, scoot it back, and settle in here. Now, the body is gonna follow the path of least resistance. So anywhere that you're especially tight and your body just doesn't want to go to in this pose, that's probably where you need it the most. So I'd encourage you to wiggle the hips around a little bit and find any tight spots and hold those spots specifically. And if and when you're ready, lowering yourself down to the mat, breathing into that hip. Now feel free to pause the video at any point if you want to stay in any one pose longer. This is always a pose that I like to spend a lot of time in personally, so feel free to do the same. But for now, we're going to bring ourselves back up. Hands rooted down into the mat, tuck the back toes, send that front leg back, down dog. Other side, extend the other leg up, shifting the weight forward, bringing that leg in front of you, shifting that leg, the back leg back, flip the foot, wiggle around in that hip joint, finding the tight spots, and if and when you're ready, bringing yourself down to the mat, breathe. Planting your hands back down on the mat, tucking those back toes, front leg goes back, down dog. Good, go ahead and drop your knees down. We're gonna flip around and come into a seated series, and this is where the strap might come in handy. So feel free to have that close by as we go through a little seated series. So legs extended straight out in front of you. Flexing the feet, roll those shoulders back, extending to the crown of the head, and slowly walking your hands down without letting that upper body collapse. So stay tall and reach. This is where the strap might come in handy. You can wrap that around your feet and get a little more leverage in that stretch. Breathe. Bringing your torso back up, you can set the strap off to the side if you're using it. Go ahead and bring one leg to the outside edge of the mat. You're going to pull the other leg in, coming into a figure 4 type position. Now, you want to square your shoulders off with that leg, and we're slowly going to walk down. Again, the strap definitely could be a benefit here around this foot. If you can't quite reach, you need a little bit of leverage on that stretch. Good. Bring yourself up. Now you're going to let your shoulders turn and follow the direction of your hips. You're going to take the same arm as leg, palm up, bring it on the inside of the leg, dropping it down. There should be this energy between the thigh and the upper arm. As we press into that leg, bring your other arm all the way up and over, getting a nice stretch to the lower back. Breathe. Go ahead and reach it up. Go ahead and switch legs here. Other leg extends to the outside edge of the mat. Other leg comes in for a figure four. Square those shoulders off with that leg and bring yourself down. Breathe. Bring yourself back up. You're going to square your shoulders off with your hips. Take that same arm as leg, palm up. Bring it on the inside of that leg. Bring that other arm all the way up and over. Nice stretch to the side body. And release. Good. Go ahead and extend both legs out. We're actually going to scooch down a little bit. We're going to lay down on our mats or on the floor, grabbing that strap. Both feet are planted down on the ground, releasing one leg around the strap, extending it up. Flex the ankle and pull that leg close. Make sure you're not locking the knee here. If you want a little bit deeper of a stretch, you can extend that bottom leg straight out. Grabbing that strap in the same arm as leg that you have out, go ahead and open that out to the side. The opposite arm is going to come out to a T. Trying to keep that opposite hip anchored down on the mat. Breathe. Controlling your leg back up to the top. Switch hands with that strap. Other arm comes out to a T. Let that leg open out to the side. And bring it back to the top. And slowly let that leg come back down. Pull both legs up. Go ahead and rock your knees a little bit side to side. Good. Releasing your other leg from the mat. Wrap that strap around that foot. Bringing it up. Pulling it close. Breathe. If and when you're ready, extending that bottom leg straight down. Transferring the strap into that same arm as leg, opening up that other arm to a T, let that leg drop out, open to the side. Controlling that leg back up to the top, switching hands with that strap. Other arm goes out to a T, leg comes all the way across. Good. Controlling that leg back up to the top, bending the knee, releasing that strap. Feet planting down on the floor or the mat. Windshield wiper those legs. Good. Bring your arms to your sides. Pull your heels in close to your hips. We're going to press up into a bridge. So slowly rolling it up one vertebra at a time. Make sure you're landing on your upper back and not your neck. You should be able to lift your head up. And slowly lower it down, one vertebra at a time. Pulling the knees into the chest, little rock side to side. Good. We're going to set up for a little mini Shavasana here. Again, feel free to pause the video if you want to rest here longer. Extending your feet out on the mat, hands resting out at your sides. Blink your eyes closed. And for the next couple minutes, just bring your attention to your breath. Notice it without any judgment. Don't try to change it. Just breathe. Deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. Just letting your body melt into your mat. And when you're ready, begin to bring your awareness back to your body by wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. Extending your arms up overhead, stretching through the tips of your toes, all the way to the tips of your fingers. Bringing yourself over onto your side, resting in a comfortable fetal position. Oh, hi, Dexter. And when you're ready, pushing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Sitting up nice and tall, gently turning your head over to the side. Gently over to the other side. Back to center. Bring your chin up, stretching through the front of the throat. And dropping your chin down, stretching through the back of the neck. Gently rolling your head from side to side, rotating ear to shoulder. Coming back to neutral. Taking one hand behind your back, palm facing away from you. Bringing the other hand to the opposite side of the head. Gentle stretch. And release. Right, Ella. Other side. Other hand behind your back. Sitting up nice and tall. Opposite hand comes up. Stretch. And release. Hands coming down to the thighs. We're going to come around in a couple big torso circles. Bringing it on up. Getting a nice active stretch through the lower back. And reverse. Sitting up nice and tall, arms come up, deep breath in. Hands come together at the top, coming down through the heart center. Namaste.